Hello class, this is Jeffrey here with the with trig functions. Trig functions are great. They're you find the angle where actually you have the angle, and then you can calculate the ratio of the triangle sides. And here we're gonna be taking the derivatives of these trig functions. So you have these trig functions. You have sine x, you have cosine x, you have tan x, you have cosecant x, you have secant, and then you have cotangent. So there are like proofs and stuff, but I don't really want to go over it. So we're just gonna I'm just gonna give you the derivative. Actually, that's just an arrow. So the derivative of sine x is cosine x, and the derivative of the derivative of cosine x is negative sine x, and the derivative of tangent x is secant squared x. The derivative of cosecant x is negative cosecant x times cotangent x. The derivative of secant x is secant x times tangent x, and the derivative of cotangent x is secant squared. Wait, sorry, just kidding, that's not true. That is a false statement. It's actually negative cosecant squared x. Now that might be a lot to remember, and it is, but you remember it, okay? Or you get a D in this class. I'm gonna bring in a few problems from my worksheet. You can check that out. First problem: secant x plus cosine x. Now forgot to input, like, I forgot to put the words here given the instructions, but you just take the derivative. So secant x, derivative of secant x is secant x times tangent x, and the derivative of cosine x is negative sine x. Now that was a very simple problem. It was just a warm-up. Next problem, just gonna delete that. Sine x divided by x squared. Now we're gonna use a fun old chain rule here. Oh no, and it's not the chain rule. I can't do chain rule because it's not. That's the next lesson. We're using the quotient rule. So we have cosine of x times x squared. I should probably write down the quotient rule. It's the derivative of this divided by this minus this times the derivative of that all over this squared. So we have the derivative of sine x, we have x squared minus we have the derivative of x squared, that's 2x times sine x, and then it's all over bottom squared, which is x to the 4th power. And I think that's as far as you can get when you simplify. Okay, so on to the last problem, because we're almost at 5 minutes. We have fx equals tangent x plus cotangent x, and the problem is find the tangent line of this graph at this point. So in order to find the tangent line, we have to find the slope. So we'll take the derivative of this function. So we have secant squared x plus minus cosecant squared x. Excuse me. So we have our derivative. So now we have to input our x value to find the slope, because we're trying to find the slope at that x value. So the value of secant x at pi over 4 is root 2, I believe. So root 2, and it's secant squared, so you square it, minus, and I believe cosecant also has the same value, so root 2 over 2. And so that's 0. So our slope is 0, so using our point slope form, we have the x minus pi over 4 all times 0 equals y minus 2, and so that cancels out, and we have just 0 equals y over 2, which we can simplify to y equals 2, and that is our tangent line. And I don't want to graph it. Just check the answer key. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Thanks for listening, I guess.